Have you turned on the TV or the radio lately and see what's happening? If you have or you have not, there are a lot of talks about immigration and deportation. I want to ask you this. What is the future for minorities? Joining me today on Conversations with Dr. Neva is Kamil, the CEO, founder of MyPad. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. It's always good to see you.
Yes.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, watching the news today, it is all about, immigration, right? And it's a hot topic out there, and I'm so delighted to get the opportunity to be here with you to talk about it. And again, my name is Kamil, and my organization is the Most Influential 100. And MyPad is one of the products that we do in partnership with the United Nations for the International Decade for people of African descent. Most people don't know that the United Nations actually declared 10 years as a decade to recognize people of African descent and the achievements that we've done and contributed. And that's the interesting thing about immigration,
Yes.
because the contributions of immigrants is what built America, a country built by immigrants.
Definitely.
And it's interesting today, being an immigrant has a negative connotation to it, which shouldn't be so.
Why does it have a negative connotation? What do you think that is?
Well,
What's
I
going
mean,
on?
this idea that, people are coming into the country illegally. Of course, there needs to be structures put into it. So there's two sides of the conversation. But the key point here is the contributions of immigrants is what built this great nation, and we should never underlook that very important fact that we are all children of immigrants,
Yes, we are.
and that's what makes America great.
Why do you think the UN put this in place? What was the purpose of it? And why, your company decided to basically, I would say, create such an organization to address these issues?
Well, first and foremost, I'll start by saying it is a great opportunity the United Nations has created by declaring this decade to give the world an opportunity to focus on the contributions of people of African descent worldwide. And what we have done is what we call it with new media is to use influencer marketing to get this information out. A lot of people do not know that this decade actually exists. So what we do is to get the most influential people of African descent worldwide to use their influence to get this information out. And that's been working quite effectively. We have recognized over 200 young people around the world who are under 40. 100 of them are based inside Africa, and 100 of them are based in the diaspora. So we're kind of connecting, who's your counterpart doing what you're doing. And that is what's helping us get the information, out there for the three pillars of the decade, which is recognition, justice, and development.
Okay. So one of the things that happened recently was
Right.
with Canada.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
Prime
yeah.
Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, actually officially recognized the International Decade. A number of other countries around the world, especially those in South America, where people of African descent actually live, but they are marginalized or called invisibles. They've also recognized it, but no one has done what Canada has done, which is the Prime Minister, who's the number one citizen, to recognize the decade and commit the country to ensuring that the decade is well observed in Canada.
And I just want to say, I really love the work that you're doing. I had the pleasure of attending one of your events. I mean, I know you do more than events, and we're going to talk about that. But I had the pleasure of basically witnessing what
Right.
you do and recognizing individuals. And these are not any and anyone. They're strong individuals with
Absolutely.
influence.
Absolutely.
And they need to be recognized because that's how we're going to move forward, to be confident in ourselves, to say, hey, not just anyone, but I am an African decent, and I want to be recognized. I'm great at
Absolutely.
sports. I'm great at whatever.
Business,
Yes.
in politics and governance. So four categories of this global 100 list that we put together. And let me explain this about recognition. See, there is excellence in all color.
Yeah, your keyword excellence. We
That's
just
right.
talked about that.
There's
Yes.
excellence in every color. But what you find is that people of African descent have not really been given the opportunity to showcase this excellence and for everyone to appreciate and recognize it, right? So what we've done is to put together the global list of excellence, right? The core vision there is to showcase excellence and to ensure that that 1% that we showcase inspire the 99% to embrace the spirit of excellence. So I can do it too.
Yes.
So when you see, people that you admire, people you look up to, you can always tell yourself to say that it is possible. And that's the beauty of the platform, is to showcase that 1% who inspire the 99% to embrace a spirit of excellence. And every year we bring them to the United Nations during the UN General Assembly to have a recognition dinner for them.
Oh, and I, mentioned that your keyword is excellent.
It's excellent, right?
Yeah. So how can I be excellent? I want to be
All right,
that
all right. So let's
excellence
talk about that.
yeah.
Excellence, like I said, exists in all of us. It is a lifelong journey for us to find that gift that's inside of us and express it and share it with the world, because that's what you do with a gift. Now, what if I told you or asked you, right, would you want to unlock new possibilities of success in your relationships, your finances, your well-being? A lot of people are very excited and say, yes, absolutely, I would love to do that.
Yeah. Can you tell me how?
How?
Because that's everyone wants to be.
Absolutely.
Everyone.
And the
So-
very first step to doing that is a commitment to become the best version of yourself.
Okay.
See, that is where you begin this journey. And I always like to caution that, it's not a silver bullet. It's a lifelong journey. It's not. So we sell excellence, not in form of a water that you can drink and then voila. But more,
But
we
that
sell
would work,
excellence.
right?
That would, yeah, absolutely. I can see it now. Water just labeled excellence, right? But the way we sell excellence is in form of a journey from where you are today to you becoming the best version of yourself. So it starts first with that commitment, right? That I want to be the best version of myself. And the second step is to find the tools that actually can help you get there. And these tools exist. So that's what we do with our platform, which is.
How can you find those tools?
So the tools are out there in terms of books, trainings, consultations, a lot of self-help, life coaches, financial literacy experts who are out there. So again, what we do is basically aggregate and give you an opportunity to come there and see reviews by other users. So reviews, and you can see what people have done and how these tools have actually helped them unlock new possibilities of success in their lives. So again, the three core areas we focus on is on relationships, because it is all about relationships. And for you to unlock new possibilities of success in your relationships, we have partners, personal development partners, who you go through their training, or you read a book, or you get a life coach, right, to begin to change your relationships. But here's the warning I always have, the disclaimer is this, that you have to break up with the old you and start dating the new you.
Oh, okay.
All right? For you to get the best out of what we have to offer. So what does that mean? First, you commit to becoming the best version of yourself. Right. 2, you seek the tools. And then you start by deciding, which aspect of my life do I want to unlock new possibilities? Is it in my relationships, in my leadership ability, my finances, and my well-being? And my favorite is actually finances.
Why? Because everyone needs money?
Well, money is good. It's a resource, right? And here's what's interesting about our financial literacy partners, money therapy. You see, a lot of people, their relationship with money spills over in their other relationships, which therefore impacts, right, their relationships with people, with family, with friends, and with coworkers, or just general relationships. So financial literacy actually helps you understand what your relationship is with money. And the better you understand your relationship with money, the better you are in control of that. right? The better you actually are as a person. So I'll give you an example. People always think, if I make more money, I won't need to worry. But that's not true, because the way you spend $1 is the way you would spend $1,000,000. So it's not about what's coming in, it's about how you manage what's actually coming in. And a personal testimonial is that through my money therapy classes, I discovered what my relationship was with money and how I needed it. Was developed over the years from childhood, right? And it's very important to know that my first interaction with money, still till I went through this session, was the one determining how I interacted with money. And until I now know that information, I had to make a decision of making a change in that. So the point I'm making is that when you start to identify certain invisible chains that are holding us back, you start to break them, then you begin to break through, either in your relationships, in your finances, or your well-being. So I know I've talked about your relationships, which is usually with people, correct? We've talked about your relationship with money, which is very important.
Yeah, I like money. Okay.
We all do, right? And then your relationships with your body, yourself, your well-being. Because you see, we are a soul living in this vessel, and there's a relationship between that soul and this body. So taking care of yourself, what you eat,
yes, of course.
what you eat. Health is wealth. You hear that all the time, because you could have all the money in the world, but no health to enjoy that. It becomes a problem, right? So these are the three areas that we focus on: your relationship with people, your relationship with money, and your relationship with your body. So we sign up partners in personal development, financial literacy, and wellness to actually help you to start to unlock new possibilities in all these areas of your life.
So thanks for sharing that. That's very important. We really need to know how to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know? I want to step back a little bit, and I want to talk about a comment that our president, Donald Trump, made the other day. And I just want to say, were you born in the United States?
I am American. I'm a child of immigrants, and that's a very important part, that I am American, first and foremost. I am first generation American. My parents are from Nigeria. From Africa, and I know the comment that you're talking about.
Yes.
And here's the thing. Yes, it is disheartening when you hear people talk down at you, rather with you, talking down at you. So we're all human beings and we have feelings. But here's the good thing that I actually like about what the President of the United States has done. He has created an environment for actually the country to have a conversation, right?
Just like this one.
Absolutely, right? And what is interesting is we should see this as an opportunity, right? And not let our anger, guide this conversation. And here's a specific example. My brother's 8-year-old son was born the year President Barack Obama was elected. His entire 8 years of life. We always told him, if you are the best at what you do, right, you will become, or you can become, the President of the United States. He's 9 years old now, and he asked his dad the other day, but I thought you said that if I had to be the best to be the President of the United States. You told me not to call people's names or be disrespectful to women. This is a 9-year-old child who's able to make that connection, right? So the question I ask for us as a society is, this is the society we've built together, not those who voted for in the red states or the blue states. This is our America, right?
Yes, it is.
And the question we should be asking ourselves is, if we're not happy with what is happening at the center of power in the country, then collectively we have to do something about it.
Yes.
And the way I like to say that is, we are all responsible for the society that we built together. And the change that you want to see needs to begin with you. Remember that word, that commitment to you becoming the best version of yourself.
Definitely.
Right?
So with the comment that he made, I'm not sure if I could say it on this platform.
We'll work around it.
We know
yeah,
the comment that was made, right?
Absolutely.
So I want you to highlight the riches of Africa,
Absolutely.
Nigeria.
See, I'm a lover
People
of
love.
Africa, so I'm glad that you're really getting to the part that I love. And what is interesting about who I am is that when I am in America, I am African. They call me African. When I'm in Africa, they call me American. So my entire life, I've lived a dichotomy of being these two things. And what I find that works is that each side of me needs to love the other. I find that there's always that conflict, right? So when you talk about Africa, I love Africa as much as I love America. And I had the opportunity to go back and live in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, for the last 8 years, working for an American multinational corporation in Africa for the last 6, 7 years. And I love Africa, and there are so many things that I learned about Africa growing up here that I realized that the narrative growing up in America would push you away from actually loving Africa. But then living in Africa, what I experienced, the people, the places, I realized, oh my God, we need to counter the narrative that we've been taught here in America about the continent. It is a beautiful, amazing place to actually live in. The opportunities, amazing. And here's another very important point. The richest black woman, the richest black man, and the richest black woman in the world, the Billionaires
The
Club,
billionaires, yes.
they're all in Africa. But that's information I never knew when living here and being told about Africa. So
Why
there's
do
a
you
lot
think
of
we don't know
prosperity.
this?
It's
Or
the
why is it?
narrative. It's the
Yeah.
narrative. And we have to counter that. And that's why we do what we do at the most influential, is to highlight and showcase excellence inside Africa and in the African diaspora.
So, part of my job and things that I do, I help people to get into the African market.
Correct.
And not just Africa, but
A
specifically
global
for the,
business,
the global
absolutely.
business. So, what are opportunities out there that, one can look at in reference to Africa or sub-Africa?
So the way I like to talk about opportunities in Africa, 55 different countries, very important to clarify that.
The continent.
The continent, absolutely.
Yeah.
But what you find predominantly is Africa is the only frontier where you can actually begin to rewrite history from scratch, right? So in terms of technology, Africa has the opportunity to frog leap. A lot of things that we've learned here, we don't have to go through those years of learning. We can adopt new technology and actually, and specific example would be in telecoms, for example. So we went from not having, landlines to mobile technology, and that has revolutionized communication inside Africa. You find Nigeria is an example, one of the largest internet penetration on the continent. So mobile technologies, for example, is a fantastic area that you can see the frog leap and how technology has helped Africa connect with the world. Payments is another area. When you talk about mobile payments inside Africa, when you look at Kenya, for example, a specific example of M-Pesa, where cash is not king, where mobile technology is where people actually used to move money around.
Yeah, M-Pesa?
M-Pesa.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's very convenient.
So again, opportunities range from technology, of course, from natural resources is also another very big area of opportunities on the continent. So dirty oil is not the future. So new energies, solar, renewable energies is a new area. But also when you look at the continent, 70+% of the continent's population is a very youthful population, and you find technology in terms of new media is really changing the dynamics on the continent. So young people, a lot of young people are getting involved, for example, in politics, right? Using social media to create voters registration campaigns. And that's another movement that you find it's where technology is also impacting politics on the continent, because now you're able to get the masses, the youth involved in making decisions on who will lead Africa. And what's exciting for me there is that now you find, the best of us are going to be found to rule the rest of us. Today, predominantly, you find, and we can say that for a lot of parts of the world where the worst of us are ruling the rest of us.
The worst of us. Who are the
So
rest of us?
we have to flip that and get the best of us ruling the rest of us. And that's where excellence comes in, right? For you to be able to help people become the best version of themselves. See, power doesn't hide who you are. It amplifies who you are. And if you are not the best of what you are, when you get to positions of power, you find abuse starts to happen.
So you're saying one that has power, when they have that power, you will see
the process,
be negative or positive, all of them. You see the real personality.
There you go.
Coming out.
You see who had paid attention to developing themselves. Remember, the change begins with you. So if you're the best version of yourself, when you get into power, it is the best of yourself that you would emulate. You know, you will reflect to the larger society.
Yeah.
But when people do not pay attention to their person, developing their person, and rely only on their gift, then we have a problem. So these two things are not mutually exclusive. You have to develop both your gift and your person, and together, right, is what makes you the best version of yourself. And when you develop that, and then you get into positions of power, that is when we get the best of us ruling the rest of us.
So what's next for you?
This is a lifelong journey, so let's be clear about that. When you talk about excellence, it's for me, the challenge is to be the best version of me every day, and realizing that there are actually tools out there that can actually help me become that. Like I said, for me to start to identify the things that are holding me back from expressing my possibilities or living at my highest potential. Once I identify them, I can let them go. I can make a decision to let them go. When I identify the invisible chains that are holding me back, I can break them, then I break through, right? And start, right, to open up new possibilities in all aspects of my life.
What's next for your organization?
It's spreading the word that it is possible for you to become the best version of yourself. The tools are out there, embrace them. And that the 1% that we showcase through our Global 100 list, right, they would inspire you to embrace that spirit of excellence. So it is possible.
And I'm so happy that I have you. Perfect time in Black History Month.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's
recognizing.
Well, I celebrate Black History Month all year long.
Yes,
you know,
yes, it should be, but yeah.
Africa, not only known for the beautiful destinations, it is the birthplace of champions, motherland of achievers from all over Africa and the diaspora. People of African descent have kept records of high achievements in important sectors of human life. In the spirit of recognition, we celebrate the most influential people of African descent under 40. The 2017 MyPad Global List unveils outstanding young individuals representing 30 African countries and 20 non-African countries who have excelled in one of 4 categories of politics and governance, business and entrepreneurship, media and culture, religious and humanitarian endeavors. The MyPad list shall run through to the year 2024 in support of the 2015 to 2024 UN International Decade for People of African Descent. A world driven by excellence. Together, we can make Africa great again. Yes, we can.
Thank you so much for coming out. Is there any final knowledge that you would like to impart on our audience?
Well, you, for me, exemplify excellence. The last time we were here, it's constant improvement. I remember being on your show the last time. Look at it now, great studio.
Yes, we have to upgrade.
Upgrade,
ourselves.
absolutely.
Yes,
So it's a continuous process. So I'd love to come back and always talk to you about the possibilities of success in life and how we can always achieve that, and just keeping in line with where we started about immigration. This is a country of immigrants. We should appreciate and respect all our differences, knowing that nothing God created is the same, not even twins. Therefore, our greatest asset as human beings is our differences. That we should work together in building a world where our differences is what we celebrate. So when I meet you, I should be excited about what you bring to the table, not shy away from you, right? And that's what we should be aiming for, a world driven by excellence, where we do not judge each other based on color, but rather by the gifts and the talent that we bring to contribute to make the world a better place.
Yes, how can one find you?
Our website is www.mipad.org. That's mypad or mepad.org. And you can find us on social media. The hashtag is mypad. That's MIPAD 100.
Very good. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
I just want to highlight that I'll have the International Women's Day Conference coming up. And for more information, you could visit www.drneva.com. And also for our videos, social media, and anywhere you want to find us, drneva.com. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure being here with you. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Neva, the founder of Neva Alliance. I'm here to tell you about the dynamic event that I'm having at Hofstra University on March 17th. It is the International Women's Day Conference, our second conference. Be prepared. We will impact. We will empower. We have a lot of great speakers, a lot of great individuals coming out, and a lot of wonderful sponsors. You do not want to miss this event. For more information, visit our website, nevaalliance.com. That's NEValliance.com or drneva.com.